Hello my friends, today I'm going to share with you how you can turn your prayer board into a scrapbook. So a few weeks ago I shared with you a video on how you could create a prayer board for the year. If you haven't seen that video just yet, make sure you go ahead and check it out. I will leave a link to it down in the description box below. So in that video I shared with you how you could create these prayer cards. And once your prayer was answered, then you would move them to the side of the board. And if you had many answered prayers, you could just start lining the entire board. So at the end of the year, you would have so many answered prayers and you'd be able to recognize them all by being lined around the board. So I wanted to share this video with you today so you would have an idea of what you could do with those answered prayers at the end of the year. So what we're going to do today is take these cards as if they're answered prayers, and we're going to create a scrapbook of those answered prayers. And the scrapbook is going to serve as an encouragement memory book of your bold prayers that have been answered by the Lord. Because the truth is, we can have so many amazing answered prayers in our life, but it can be so easy to forget about them, lose sight of how many things that God has blessed you with. And so it's just an amazing thing to create memories about your bold prayers that you're praying and how God is blessing you in those areas of your life. So let's go over everything that you need to get started. So the first thing that you would need would be your answered prayers on your prayer cards. And then you'll also need a scrapbook. And you could either create your own or purchase one. This is one that I purchased, so I will leave the links to it in the description box below. These come in so many different colors. I chose to purchase a black one because I think it looks really nice with metallic markers on it. So you can get one in any color, but just remember that if you get one in a darker shade like black or gray, you'll need either like a white marker or metallic for it to actually show up on the paper. So I also have a digital option as well for you. If you don't want to use markers, you just want to create it on the computer, I have an option for you for that as well. And then you're also going to need tape. You're also going to need reclosable fasteners or glue. And then if you choose the digital option, you will need a scissors. And this is just a crafting scissors that gives a fun design on the edge. So you could use a regular scissors or a crafting scissors. So let's get started. So next what we're going to do is create a title for your scrapbook. So if you don't want to do anything on the computer, what you can do is just create this on a blank sheet of paper and title it anything that you want. And then for those who want to create a digital title, I'll show you how to do that in Canva. So what we're going to do is go to canva.com, and then in the upper right hand corner we're going to click on create a design, and we're going to choose YouTube thumbnail. It really doesn't matter which one you choose, it's just we need to have a space to create this design. Next we're going to go to elements on the left hand side, and we're going to type in vintage flower square frame, and we'll click search. So I'm just going to choose this one, and then we'll put it in pink. And then I'm just going to stretch the border a little bit to make it a little larger. And then I'm going to add some text. So on the left hand side, I'm going to click on text, and then on heading. So now we've got a little text box that we can use. And I'm going to title this My Answered Prayers. And I'm gonna make it a little bigger. So next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight this text and change the color to white. And then I'm gonna click on Effects and give it a little outline in black. So I'm gonna change the color here. And then we'll add a little bit of a thickness to it. And then we'll click out of it. I'll make it a little bigger. And there we go. And I'm actually going to add one more design on this frame. And so I think I'm going to add a cross with a heart on it. And I'm going to search in the graphics section. So I'm going to choose this one. And then I'll change it to pink. And you certainly don't have to do all of this. I just like to add a little extra to my design. And so I'm just going to size it down just a little bit. And then I'm just going to duplicate this. And then I'll bring it to each corner. And then I'll add another one. And then one more. That way it adds just a little something extra. Now we're finished creating the title for the front of the prayer scrapbook. So what we want to do is go to File and Download. And then we're going to download this as a PDF because we're going to print it out, and then we'll click Download. So this is what my title looks like after creating that in Canva. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up, and then I'll take out this little pocket. And then I'm just going to slide my design right in there at the bottom. And then I'm going to insert it right there in the front. And I'll have to flip it to the front just to see how it's lining up. So that's what it looks like when I have my title inserted. So now we'll start with the first page. What we're going to do is take our answered prayer cards and we're going to tape this scripture on the front, because remember we had these just pinned on the front when they were on our board. So now we're going to tape them on there. You can either tape them or glue them. We just want to make sure that they stick to the front of the card. I'm just going to tape mine today. And then just make sure you get that in the middle. So there we go. So now that we have taped the scripture on the front of the prayer card, we'll flip over the card. And this is where we're going to use these reclosable fasteners. So this is a step where you could either glue this card to your scrapbook. You could tape it down with like washi tape or anything like that. Or you can use these reclosable fasteners. And the reason why I'm using these is so I can remove the card off the scrapbook if I want to. So what I'll do is I'll take one of these reclosable fasteners and just peel it back. And then we'll stick that adhesive side right in the middle of the card. And it works just like Velcro. And then on this other side, you can just press down on there and it's going to stick together. Now, if I was actually going to permanently put this on, I would just peel this second layer back and adhere it down. But I'm waiting to the end of the year to do my board, so I'm just sharing with you this idea. That's why I'm not gluing anything down on the scrapbook just yet. So we'll place that here. And then we're gonna be able to do this with 2 cards per page, it looks like. So what I'll do is the same thing with the next card. So we'll get some tape and we'll tape the scripture down on the front of the card. And then we'll also get our reclosable fastener and put that in there. And then we've got the other side. And we'll place it here. So what we have here are answered prayers on one side. And then we've got another side to add what it felt like to have these prayers answered, because we are praying bold prayers. And so this is really going to mean something special to you once you get your prayers answered. So you really want to write it in a way that it's going to encourage you whenever you flip through this prayer scrapbook. And this is where you could use your metallic pens or whatever type of pens you've chosen to use on your scrapbook. And I would just write it in these 2 areas here across from your prayers. And then now I'll show you how you can do this digitally as well. So our next step is to create a memory about our answered prayers. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this same frame. So we're just going to click on duplicate page. And then we're going to remove this. And we can actually just size it down. We'll need some more space here. And then we'll hit delete. I'm just going to type in an example of something that you could say for receiving a healing. And I'm just going to size it down a little bit so it fits. So this example is completed. So what we'll do is we'll go to File, Download, and then we'll click on PDF to print. And then we'll just go to the pages, uncheck all pages. We'll click on page 2, click Done, and then Download. So then you'll have page 2 downloaded. And then we're going to do the same for every answered prayer. So I've got one more example I'm going to show you. So I'm just going to click on this button here to duplicate the page. So all I have to do is remove this text and add my new text in here. And then I'm going to size it down a little bit. So this example is for God answering a prayer about a goal in your life. So since we're done creating this, all you have to do is click on File, Download. We'll choose the PDF. And then we'll click on page 3. We'll click Done. and then download. So this is an example of what I created in Canva, and this is an example of what you could say for a healing. So it says, on this date, God healed me from this injury. He blessed me to have a successful recovery even after the doctors said it was impossible. I'm a living witness of God working miracles. And you can see I just left this generic. So you, of course, if you were going to use something like this, you'd add your date in here and you would make it personal. So whatever injury you had. So this is just an example. You don't have to write it like I'm writing it. I just wanted to share with you an idea of something that you could write as encouragement when you look at your answered prayer. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to cut it out with my art and crafting scissors just to give it a fun design around the border. Even though we already have a decorative border, it's just going to add a little something extra. But if you don't have a crafting scissors, you can just use a regular scissors as well. It works just fine. And you'll see it doesn't have a straight edge to it. It just has a fun design to it. So that's what it looks like once it's cut out with the crafting scissors. I'm showing you this as an example, so I'm not going to tape it down, but I'm just going to place it where it would go. So our next answered prayer was for a goal. And so this is what I created in Canva as an example of what you could say. So it says, on this date, God blessed me to reach this goal within 2 months, and He made the journey incredibly peaceful. It was only God that was able to open the door for me, and I am truly thankful. So like I said, you can write these however you want to. Try to make it encouraging to yourself. And I'll do the same thing. I'm just going to cut this out with my crafting scissors. So that's what it looks like when it's all cut out. And then we would be taping it on this side as well. So you would continue to do this for all of your answered prayers. So this is what the finished product would look like. So you got your title in the front. And then when you open it up, you've got your answered prayers here. And of course, you've got your scriptures on top and your gratitude and everything inside. And then on this side, we've got our encouragement and how amazing it was to get that prayer answered. However you want to say it, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just going to serve as encouragement to yourself. The purpose of turning your prayer board into a scrapbook is to have the memories of all the bold prayers that you prayed. And it allows you to capture the amazing moments of confirmation that God gave you about those prayers. And it allows you to capture how and when He answered your prayers. This can also be done without creating a prayer board. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in seeing more ideas of how you can create different types of prayer scrapbooks, and I'd be happy to make a video sharing those ideas as well. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I'd love to answer any questions that you may have. And to help share this video out with more people and encourage them about their prayer life, I would appreciate if you hit the like button down below. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you later.